Hello everyone, welcome to Winged Paper Crafting. My name is Angel Fitch. If you're new around here, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. I'm so glad you've stopped by my YouTube channel. Today we're going to do our 5th set of alternatives for the May 2025 paper pumpkin kit called Mountain Majesties. You can see here the 9 cards that you were able to make if you had done them as intended. But around here we don't do things as intended, so we're going to move on to our alternates. So the first one we're going to start with today, now both of the ones we're going to do today kind of look a lot alike in a way, but they turn out so very different. So I'll show you what I mean. So I've got a white card base, 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. I'm going to give this a nice burnish. I have an inside piece that is 4 by 5 1/4, also white. And I've got this piece right here. This was one of the envelopes, so the Lost Lagoon colored envelope that I cut down, and I cut this to 4 by 5 1/4. We're going to put that on the front of our card. So let's go ahead and get that down as soon as I can. Oh, there it is. I couldn't see my seal. I knew it was here somewhere. Okay, so let's just get this down on the front of our card. We're just going to center this up, left to right, top to bottom. Okay. Now, I've got 2 of these pieces of vellum that came in the kit. These are also the Lost Lagoon color, and we're going to put one at the top and one at the bottom, just like this. So, let's see. Let's take our liquid glue. Now, we know with vellum we have to be careful not to get too much glue because the glue shows through vellum, but this is kind of a thicker vellum, so it doesn't show quite as bad as just like thinner vellum. So I'm just going to try to put, if I can get my glue to work here, a very thin line of glue just along the outside edges. And because our background there is kind of watercolored looking, that's another way we can hopefully cover up our glue lines. So I'm going to put this one down right here. Now I cut this vellum piece down to be 4 inches across too, so it would just fit perfectly on our watercolor piece there. So I'm going to do the same thing for this one. Very thin line of glue. Move it all the way around the edges. Okay, now this one we're going to put at the top. Again, flush with the top and then flush with the sides. Get that one up there. Oh, not quite where we need to be. Oh my goodness, let's see. Let's move our vellum piece up just a bit. Okay, and then I think I need to give this corner just a little bit more glue. Our first piece doesn't want to stay down. There we go. Now, I've got a piece here out of white that I cut from the Nested Essential dies. These are such a handy set to have with all these basic shapes that nest within each other. These come in very handy. I like these a lot. I use them quite often. So I cut this out of this second from the middle one here. So we're going to stamp on this, and we are going to do You Mean the World to Me, which was in the stamp set that came with the kit. And I'm going to use Lost Lagoon ink. I'm going to push this out of the way here, and we'll ink up this stamp. And we'll get this just, I'm going to put the point of my shape here on one of the lines so I know it's straight. And get our sentiment down here. There we go. You mean the world to me. We're going to pop that up here in a minute. And then now we're going to do our inside as long as we're here. And I've got another sentiment that came off of the stamp set that came in the kit. It says, "You're the greatest." So I'm going to put that on the inside. So once again, I'm going to line this up on the glass mat. And we'll get this down. "You're the greatest." There we go. Okay, so let me close the ink pad up. We'll put this on our inside with some seal. I'm going to try to get more in the corners here. It's the corners that don't want to stay down. Okay, so we'll get this put down here. Okay, now we're going to pop this up on some dimensionals. So I'm going to just put some regular sized ones down the middle here. I'll take the backs off. Okay, we're going to put this right here in the center. Okay, and the last thing we've got are some of these antique pearls. I'm going to put these on the outside here. So I like these. They have the small, medium, and large. So you get 3 different sizes. And we'll put another medium one down here. Okay, so there's that card. Pretty quick, easy. So let me get this out of the way and we'll go to our second one. So our second one, we're also going to start with a white base that's 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. We're going to give it a good burnish. I've got an inside piece somewhere. Let's see. Yeah, right here. 4 by 5 1/4. And again, I have another piece of this, an envelope, but this is the Misty Moonlight colored one. And I've cut that to 4 by 5 1/4, and we're going to put that on the outside of our card base. Oops. So let's get this down. Alright. Put that one down. Okay. Again, I've got vellum that came in the kit, and this is Misty Moonlight colored, and I cut it down to 4 inches across. So we're going to do kind of the same thing we did with the Lost Lagoon on the last card. And I'm going to take my glue, another, again, thin line of glue all the way around. Ooh. Okay, and that little bit became a lot, didn't it? I'm just going to take some of that off with my finger. There we go. Okay. I don't want that much in the corner. We were doing so well. Okay, so we're going to put this one here at the bottom. Line that up. Again, because of the watercolor on the bottom, the glue doesn't really show, which is good. So let's see. Now this one's going to go this way, so let's put glue on this side. Try not to have a heavy hand this time. I did so good on the first ones. Okay, so we'll get this one at the top. And we'll get this Oh my goodness, wiggled into place there. Okay, that is not in place at all. Hang on a second. Let's try that again. Let's scoot this over. There we go. Okay. All right, so we've got that down. Now, for the inside of this one, between our two vellum pieces, I took the label die that was in the Hugs of Bloom add-on dies, and I cut us a white label. So we're going to put that there, and I'm going to pop it up on some dimensionals. Before we do that though, I cut a piece from the same die set for the Hugs. I cut a Hugs out of this Misty Moonlight glimmer paper. Now, this isn't available yet. This is coming in September. It's just so pretty and goes with this. So we're going to put that on our label here. So let's just, again, we'll use our liquid glue since this is kind of fine. We'll just kind of dot some glue around here. Don't need a lot. Just making sure we get the highlights. Okay, so I'm going to put that on here. Of course, my fingers are tacky now because I got glue on them. Okay, so I just want to push this down. There we go. Now we're going to pop the whole thing up in the middle of our card. So we'll put a couple of dimensionals here on the back. And then get the backs off. Okay, so I'm going to put this in the middle. Just kind of right like this. And then I took, oops, the Golden Greenery set. This was from back last Christmas. And I cut one of these out of the die. There's a die here that does this right here, this one. So I cut a piece of that with white, and we're just going to tuck it in here behind our sentiment. Now, it's kind of taller than the space we've got, so I'm going to kind of trim our stem off here because we don't need it, and it's going to be behind our sentiment anyway. So let's just do a couple of glue dots on this. Again, we don't need them all, just enough to keep it in place. So I kind of just did toward the bottom. We're going to let the top of it kind of have its own free will action there. And actually, I think, you know what? I'm going to take our sentiment, just move it down just a little bit. Okay, now, there we go. Now we have room for our flower. Or leaf, or whatever you call this. I guess it's a leaf. Whoops. Fingers are sticky. There we go. Okay, so there's that. Now, let's go ahead and stamp our inside. So I've got a stamp here that comes from the Charming Day stamp set. And this is a new one that just became available the 1st of July. And I'm going to put the Thanks for Being You on the inside of our card. And I'm going to use Misty Moonlight for this. Now, I'm going to try to do this without getting blue ink everywhere. Okay, now I'm going to do Straight down, straight back up. No rocking our block if we can help it. Thanks for being you. There we go. Okay, get this put away. Put this on the inside of our card. And we'll get that centered up. And there we go. Now, for the outside of this one, I think we'll go ahead and use our same antique pearls because they just go with everything. Yeah. So let's see. We're going to do one on the glass mat. Oh my goodness. How about right there? And we'll do a medium one down here. And let's do another big one. This time up here. And there we go. So, two different cards. Basically, you know, started with the same design, but ended up looking so much different in the end. So, very cute, very easy to do. Came together relatively quickly. So, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button and ring that notification bell so you get notified every time I upload a video. And we will be back probably tomorrow with another set of alternatives for this kit. So have a crafty evening and I'll see y'all tomorrow. Bye.